Moses Itauma versus Daniel Dubois, the heavyweight collision the world didn't know it needed.
Itauma! Oh! That's it! Fight's done! Corner in! It's over! There's no way back from this, surely!
Here comes the storm, Nigeria's biggest fight on home soil, a 20-year-old knockout artist with Nigerian blood and a southpaw's sneaky venom, versus a 28-year-old juggernaut named Dynamite, who either flattens you or gets flattened. One is a meteoric prospect tearing through veterans. The other has Nigerian and Caribbean power to end dreams in one shot. Put them in the same ring, and every clock stops. This is Moses Itauma versus Daniel Dubois, the fight that broke the internet and put the Nigerian heavyweight scene on the map. These two were pitched to face it off for a long time coming. Moses Itauma, an undefeated southpaw heavyweight prodigy who has turned heads with a string of early stoppages and sudden bursts of power that make even hardened veterans hesitate to step in. He's lightning fast for a man his size and carries an undercurrent of swagger that sells.
He's special. He's big, he's young, he's got fast hands, he's got fast feet. Not only his hands get to the target fast, his feet bring you to the target fast, or bring him to the target fast, like a young Pacquiao did. I mean, he closes gaps really fast. Like one step, bang. It's like driving a car. You got to be careful with this guy.
The seasoned heavyweight, Dillian Whyte, recently tried his luck and got absolutely flattened. Well, it was worth a try.
Close look, and Itauma can take it out right now!
But who is Itauma stepping up against?
So now the big question is, where does he go from here? If it was up to Ben Davison, which direction are you going in with Moses next?
The fight that everybody says, oh, it's out of reach, is Alexander Usyk.
Yes.
Correct? As much as people claim that he's never fought anybody like Usyk, which is correct, I strongly am of the opinion that Usyk has not boxed somebody like Moses either. Somebody with the IQ that could match anybody at any weight. Somebody with the agility, coordination, speed and power that he has.
Daniel Dubois, a classic modern heavyweight. Enormous power, elite KO ratio, and a willingness to trade bombs. But he's been at the very top. He challenged for the very summit and was dismantled by the best, leaving questions about whether his ceiling is still the ceiling of the division. You can't sleep on Dubois though. He may have lost to Usyk, but he completely annihilated Anthony Joshua. That certainly didn't go to plan for AJ.
The power of Dubois, I remember I bought into it. I was like, okay, so I'll watch it, but this is going to be a stepping stone match. It wasn't a stepping stone.
Aggression too, man. He was so aggressive. He was just in the pocket constantly, just forcing Joshua to go to war. It was wild.
Itauma's latest run reads like a montage from a boxing fantasy. He steamrolled through regional names and finished established pros in shocking fashion. Second-round stoppages, first-round maulings, relentless momentum. Insane wins over the likes of Marius Wach, Dempsey McKean, and Mike Balogan. That fast path earned him belts, lights, and now real bargaining power among promoters. His rise has a narrative quality. The lightning kid who doesn't just punch, he punctuates.
He's had 13 fights now, and I've never seen a fighter of his age in the heavyweight division ever be fighting the quality of the opposition that he's done. I mean, you go back and look at, say, when AJ turned pro, you look at, Tyson Fury, all of them at that age, they either were still amateurs or fighting lesser opponents, and he stepped up to the plate. Not how he's won the fights, it's how he's won them. He's got so much maturity in the ring, so much composure. He can punch, he can box. I mean, for me, he's a revelation.
Itauma is as successful at boxing as his brother is at being a property mogul. The YouTube videos are there to prove it. In his most recent challenge, Itauma faced up to the most dangerous man in Brixton and knocked him out for the count, all the way back to South London. Many believed that Dillian Whyte would be the first real showstopper for Itauma. Whyte was always known for his dangerous body-snatching abilities, but it proved this vet was seriously lacking against the young upstart. Itauma had a game plan from day one, and boy did he execute.
Having a close look, and Itauma can take it out right now!
Not only that, but his previous fight against Mike Balogan saw him completely demolish his US rival, who also had way more experience in the ring. Itauma used his intelligent footwork and lightning-fast feinting to trick Balogan into throwing a right hook, whilst having his finger on the trigger to land his own right hook much faster. The blow knocked Balogan's lights out.
Outside of the ring and...
Dubois' story is different, more rugged, more Hollywood. He blasted his way up with brutal KOs, earned a shot at the elite, and then ran headfirst into Alexander Usyk, who dismantled him in the big moment. That loss is not the death knell, but it's a footprint. Dubois is still dangerous. It's how he comes back that will define him. One thing's for certain, despite all the hype, Itauma is still young and inexperienced. He may have smashed Dillian Whyte, but Dubois recently smashed the man who smashed Dillian Whyte, Anthony Joshua. In fact, the fight between AJ and Whyte back in 2015 was so dramatic it almost culminated in an all-out brawl when Whyte's entire entourage jumped into the ring for a rumble. After that, AJ got the better of Dillian and sent him sprawling into the ropes like a drunken Tarzan. Dillian Whyte was done.
In no rush, he's playing the matador in there at the moment. Bludgeoned him with a huge right uppercut.
So what did Dubois do recently? He gave AJ a taste of his own medicine. Dubois ragdolled Joshua like an XL bully ragdolls his prey. AJ stood no chance against Dubois' superior strength, power, and endurance. And in the end, Joshua's famous glass chin finished him off. So even if this fight takes place in Lagos, for those of you who think Moses Itauma easily disposes of Daniel Dubois, think again. Not only that, but remember, despite the losses, Dubois has had 2 close fights with simply the best boxer on the planet, Alexander Usyk. The lessons learned from these fights haven't failed to increase his technical ability against such green-fingered contenders as Moses Itauma. For those who think Itauma is simply too powerful, look at how Dubois disposed of Bogdan Dinu here. The second-round knockout had the Romanian flat on his back like an upside-down tortoise. They say that styles make fights. Itauma, the southpaw urban assassin, his southpaw stance gives him awkward angles and a natural left-hand trap. He mixes snap punching with explosive, compact power. Not a one-punch knockout artist only, but an accumulator who can end nights early. Movement and timing are advanced for a man who's climbed quickly. He doesn't telegraph like a clumsy banger. Dubois, the big man hammer. He's the textbook heavy, size, reach, and one big shot mentality that forces opponents to respect his clearing power. When he lands flush, the fight often ends. When he misses, he's been vulnerable. Usyk exposed holes, for example. Why Nigeria makes sense. Nigeria is no novice to the fight world. In fact, they have their own version of boxing. It's called Dambe. Dambe is rustic, brutal, and only entertained by the most savage and battle-hardened Nigerians. Sports like this set the country up as a nation of warriors, obsessed with fight sports, glory, and professional boxing. It's only a matter of time before the Dambe champion steps in the ring with the winner of Itauma vs. Dubois next. Both Itauma and Dubois carry Nigerian heritage. The narrative of a son of the diaspora returning home is irresistible. Nigerian media and institutions have already cheered these wins. Politicians and promoters seek gold in that symbolism. Not only that, but the winner of this fight could also face off with Anthony Joshua for a true throwback to the Rumble in the Jungle of 1974, but this time in Abuja or even Lagos. Imagine the imagery: Lagos skyline, home crowd, and 2 heavyweights under the African moon. Viral content that writes itself. At the end of the day, Dubois has 25 professional fights under his belt, whilst Itauma still only has 13. Dubois' resume is far more impressive, having smashed through top-level names such as Bogdan Dinu, Jarrell Miller, and Filip Hrgovic, just to name a few. Despite beating Dillian Whyte, Itauma's record just isn't quite there yet. We still haven't seen the man have his chin tested, meaning whether or not he has what it takes to mess with Dubois is a bit of a gamble. What's the prediction? If Itauma uses southpaw angles, early mobility, and targets the body to lower Dubois' center of gravity, he can nick rounds and land a late explosive finish. If Dubois imposes pressure early, cuts off the ring, and connects with a heavy right in rounds 1 through 4, he ends it. Dubois by knockout. One thing's for certain, Nigeria and the internet will both lose their minds at this fight. If you're a boxing fan, you don't want to be the one who stayed at home. Book your flights to Lagos now. Make sure you see this one live. Who do you back, Team Itauma or Team Dubois? Smash that like button if you want a Lagos fight, and subscribe because when the deal gets real, we'll be first with the breakdown, the walkout analysis, and the hot takes. This isn't just another fight, it's an era-defining moment. See you at the ring.